When I found out that my younger sister, Alina, had invited me to her wedding, I was completely heartbroken. We grew up together, shared secrets, and stood by each other through everything. I didn't understand what I had done to deserve being left out of the most important day of her life. When I asked her about it, she coldly replied, "It's just a small ceremony, only close people." That hit me like a slap. I thought we were close. For weeks, I was angry and confused. My parents tried to stay neutral, but I could tell they were uncomfortable with her decision too. I didn't want to stay in town and watch the wedding pictures flood social media while I sat alone in my apartment. So I decided to take a vacation. I booked a solo trip to the mountains, packed my bags, and left without telling anyone exactly where I was going. The air was cold and clean up there, and I felt free for the first time in a while. I went hiking, stayed in a cozy cabin, and tried not to think about the wedding. I turned off my phone most of the time to avoid any updates or pictures. I didn't want to feel the pain of being excluded again and again. 3 days into my trip, I turned my phone back on and saw dozens of missed calls and messages. My cousin had messaged me, "Call me now. You won't believe what happened at the wedding." My heart raced as I dialed her number, worried something bad had happened. I wasn't prepared for what she told me next. Apparently, just hours before the ceremony, Alina had caught her groom cheating, red-handed. One of her friends had found him in a hotel room with another woman, and the news spread like wildfire. The wedding was immediately canceled. Guests left shocked, and Alina had a full breakdown in front of everyone. I was stunned. A part of me felt sorry for her, but another part felt oddly justified. I had been pushed out, treated like I didn't matter, and now her perfect day had completely fallen apart. My cousin told me Alina was devastated and had gone into hiding, refusing to speak to anyone. When I came back from vacation, I expected silence from Alina, but instead, she showed up at my door. Her eyes were puffy, her makeup smeared. She looked nothing like the proud bride I had imagined. She broke down in tears and said, "I should have never done what I did. I needed you more than anyone that day." Her voice cracked as she apologized over and over. I led her inside, made her tea, and listened. She told me she had been insecure, worried I would draw attention or bring up memories of our late brother, whom we both loved dearly. She admitted that leaving me out was a mistake, one she deeply regretted. It wasn't easy, but I forgave her. We talked for hours, more honestly than we had in years. Pain has a strange way of bringing people together, and this moment reminded both of us what we had lost and what we still had. Family doesn't break so easily, not if we're willing to fight for it. In the weeks that followed, Alina stayed with me while she tried to rebuild her life. She quit her job, cut off ties with her ex, and started therapy. I supported her the best I could, not out of pity, but because I still cared, even after everything. People started talking less about the ruined wedding and more about Alina's strength in moving forward. I admired her quiet resilience, even though I knew she still carried pain deep inside. She often said, "If you hadn't gone away, maybe I wouldn't have learned who I truly needed." Eventually, we took a short trip together, just the two of us. It wasn't about escaping, it was about healing. Somewhere between the long talks and quiet walks, we found our sisterhood again. The bond that had cracked began to rebuild. Looking back, being excluded from the wedding felt like betrayal, but maybe it was a turning point. Life has its cruel ways of showing what matters most. I lost a seat at a wedding, but I regained my sister, and that was worth more than any celebration.